Hello and welcome back to Operations with Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and this week we will be showcasing the Hawke. I know someone has been asking about the Hawke and using British battlecruisers, so I'm going to finally showcasing a battle where I use her and use her well, using all of her features. For Hawke, she has 406 main battery, 9 of them, so same as North Carolina, Massachusetts, all those ships, except they're more accurate at range, but they have less armor penetration for the armor piercing and a shorter fuse, which is really helpful for cruisers. Not so much for battleships. They also have a higher HE penetration and damage as for the British stick. All in all, pretty good guns. I've enjoyed these guns. The downside is the survivability. 25mm bow, so even 380s from Bayerns, Bismarcks, Gneisenau, Queen Elizabeth, or higher guns will overmatch the bow and go right in. And then 32mm plating all over with a very large 19mm superstructure means you take a lot of damage and quickly. Especially since this is the area that most bots shoot for. And when at range, they're just going to be hitting all this 19mm plating and with HE, and your health goes away very quickly. As for skills, we have Gun Feeder, we have Grease the Gears, we have Adrenaline Rush, Concealment Expert, and Fire Prevention. These all... After this, I would want to get Basics to Survivability, maybe. Also, Emergency Repair Specialist. But these are the skills we have to try and up our DPM while this part is for survivability. Equipment. We have damage control system since we don't have the skill, and we have a engine boost to help us speed forward if we need it for acceleration. Concealment to get our concealment down to 11.8 kilometers, which is really nice for sneaking up or if you need to get undetected. Aiming systems, because that's what to get. Damage control, because that's what to get. And main battery, because there's no other good options. As you see, I'm not using any signals because we are running in ops. With that, we'll go ahead and go into this week's battle, which is Raptor Rescue. So, as you can see, we're not in a division. There's only one division here. Already putting our engine up. So, Raptor Rescue, you have many different variations of spawns, and the first spawns are easy, but after that, it's a little bit more difficult to kind of guess where things are going to spawn. We're going ahead and throw HE up, because the very first spawn is always set. You have a destroyer that spawns right where I'm aiming, a little bit further out than where I'm aiming, but a destroyer spawns there, so usually I have if I'm playing in a carrier, I'll drop fighters over in that way. So we have high explosive loaded for that destroyer. And then we're going to set up for armor piercing, because the very next salvo we want is an armor piercing salvo. One good thing about running a battleship is with the reload, you can sometimes sit down and do other things. Like, I will look down at my phone during reloads, even during this game. Some of you know why I look at my phone between games. Others will think I'm just texting friends. So, we're going to aim a little bit forward. And we pray. And we get 2 hits for a nice 3k damage. Good start. And our armor piercing's already loading because either we're going to shoot at the Alba or we're going to shoot at the Fuso. And either way, we want the armor piercing. And seeing the Alba living, we're going to go ahead and shoot at the Alba. And make sure it goes away by taking away all of its remaining HP. So now I'm looking at the torpedoes. Not sure how many we're going to hit the Alba, but it's nice that only 1 hit so that the rest can go and weaken the Fuso. We're going to go ahead and throw up our engine boost. Maybe we should have waited for the Stord to cross our bow. Just warning him that we're here with our foghorn. And this is something that's really nice. The salvos is very accurate and no overpens, only 4 pens, including a citadel to get us the remainder of that. So we're going to kind of go for the 1 line, aim for there. We're either going to get north spawn or south spawn, I'm not sure which. So as soon as the guns reload, we're going to shoot. So I'm not detected. And by having this island here, the south cruisers cannot spot. But the north, if they spawned in the north, they would be able to spot us. And so this is how we can tell where the cruisers spawn for the second wave. Since we are not detected, I know it is going to be in the south. So we're going to go ahead and throw our guns facing south. Now we're going to wait as our Kagero is nice enough to go and spot. So we're going to aim a little bit ahead and down. I thought this would be fine, but no, the Alba is speeding. We're only able to get 1 overpen. I should have aimed a little bit further ahead with that one. That's okay. That one is going to go around the corner, and because it goes around the corner, it's going to go and show us broadside again, as long as we continue on this path. The biggest threat to this path is actually the destroyers, and we will want to kill those. And I'm looking around because I need to be aware of any other spawns. At this point, maybe they could spawn at B1. I don't know. Now there's the marker shows up north. We're not going to have a B1 spawn. We're either going to have an A8 spawn, or we will have the I3 spawn. And so that's how this works. Every single spawn is an option between 2 different spawns. There's only one time there's not an option between 2 different ones. And that is when you have the southern battleships. And that's why it feels like that one's more common, even though it's not. We get a nice broadside shot. So if it's northern middle, like here it is now, but then this extraction is at Echo 1, then you will always have southern battleships. There's no other alternative spawn. All the other exits have 2 alternative layouts for their spawns. So we're going to go ahead and place a high explosive in, and we're slowing down. And do a nice, we're to turn a little bit here so that we can get eyes on the Hatsuharu as it shoots at us. And this will also let us see if We're throwing torps at the Hatsuharu, and we're not shooting it to keep it on course. This will help us ensure that the torpedoes hit, because if we shoot at it, then and it goes either low HP or it has engine brakes, then it's likely to dodge those torpedoes. Okay, now we see the cruisers down south. We're not going to use the repair here because I don't know if the torpedoes from Buki are coming, but we do have a Hatsuharu kill from our torpedoes. So I'm turning in and adjusting my speed to dodge torpedoes if they might come. And that's a bad salvo. We only got 2 shell hits.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
And now we're going to just go ahead and activate all of our consumables because we can. And so by turning like this, the Fubuki cannot hit us because they only torp on the white line. And so as we are constantly moving, we cannot be hit. So we're going to go ahead and Notzer this island and back up. We're going to focus on the carrier now. Play the mini game of press the button to make our AA stronger.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on
And
full
that
alert.
wave is wiped out just as our AA, defensive AA goes down. The bombs are the dangerous ones. Everything else is okay. As long as the bombers are pretty much wiped out, we're good. And we got a rare citadel on the Shokaku. Another thing, another benefit of having the low short fuse with these shells is that you can get full pens on the carriers, whereas most battleships would just overpen. And although we are also still overpenning quite a bit.
Task Force Commander here. Transmitting rendezvous point. Do you copy? This is Raptor. Roger. Adjusting course.
And as you see here, we're turning so that the torpedoes that were the air launched torpedoes aren't going to hit us. Now I wish I had better torpedo angles because I would have liked to torp the Alba sooner. We're going to try torping the Shokaku as we do a semi-spread. Even though these are single launched, you can make your own threads. I see the Alba slowing down and the torpedoes won't hit. So we're just going to use our guns and say no more Alba. You see I didn't aim in enough for the Shokaku, but it's okay. Our teammates got it anyways. So now the only wave that's left is the last wave. It's either going to be at E1 or it's going to be much further back at E9. Having the northern exit is the worst one for aiming, for predicting where it will be, because the 2 waves are literally on the opposite side of the map. And so for these 2, where I am is kind of the best position because I can quickly turn back and start shooting the battleships, or I can speed boost in towards the final wave.
Torpedoes to starboard.
So the Fubuki is throwing torpedoes at ships. These are probably meant for me before I stopped. And that Fubuki finally got sunk.
Boost activated.
And so you see I'm activating my engine boost because I saw a flicker of the Azuma being spotted. So we're going to run to the other side of the map. And we're going to go south of the cruisers so that we can go broad, find their broadsides, get the Citadel ribbons, and then turn back to where we are now. And also, by turning in as we meet them, it will allow us to avoid torpedoes because they will be sent where we were going and not where we currently will be going. In the Tier 6 version, this used to be this one was Takao, I believe? Or no, is it Ibuki? I don't know. They've changed these a lot in the past few years. And we say hello to Yahagi. And we're checking with torpedoes for torpedo angles.
Fire.
We're going to go ahead and put that fire down because I do not want an Azuma throwing armor piercing at my broadside.
Deactivated.
You see what armor piercing does to the Azuma.
Problem solved, sir.
So we're going to go ahead and throw one. I was going to throw one at the Alba, one at the Furutaka. See what the high explosive does. The armor piercing would just be worse. I wanted to throw one and one, but the angle wouldn't allow me, so it went both to the Alba. And no more Azuma. So here as we're turning in, now the if the Alba threw out torps and the Furutaka threw out torps, they wouldn't be aimed at us. They would be aimed to our right. As you can see, torpedoes are sailing down, the indicator. And our two torpedoes took out that Alba. And go ahead and throw all the shells there, and no more Furutaka.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
And here I wish I had another speed boost. Because I would absolutely activate it to go back to the other side, because now at just a few seconds we'll have two cruisers spawning at Delta 1 and Delta Echo 3. And since they're already spawned in, instead of rushing up to them or to where they would be, we're just going to try and get our broadsides to use our longer range accuracy. Or better accuracy than battleships. And seeing that the Miyoko, we wouldn't be able to shoot it before it gets behind the island. We're going to go ahead and go for the Mogami instead. Nice salvo of 3 hits, but I don't think we're going to hit it again. Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, I'm expecting it to die because we have so many ships up there. But now look at their position. It's clear why it didn't die so quickly. All of our ships were behind the Raptor. So this, one hit will kill it, right? Right? And no, that's the time our RNG said no, you're not getting that kill. But it's okay. Someone else needs a kill because we have 8 kills and 15 citadels. Only 2 fires. And we threw a lot more armor piercing than we did high explosive. Because yes, British battleships have good high explosive. They also have really good armor piercing. Just like a cruiser, you should be able to use both. Torpedoes we didn't get much use out of, but enough use to make them worthwhile. And this is the downside about Raptor Rescue. You sit and you wait and you wait. So in the meantime, this ship was requested, and someone was asking about British battlecruisers in ops. In the entire time playing the British battlecruiser line, I've had this good game and a whole lot of bad games. So it's a good ship. It's just not very tanky. You're going to die quickly if you put yourself out in the open without killing them quickly. So you can see 317k damage, 28 planes shot down, and 8 kills. We have major contribution because we did at least 35% of the total damage of our team. We have assistant because we dealt 10% to at least 10% HP to over half the enemy ships. C-star because we did at least our ship's HP and we had all 5 stars. As for this puts us on top of the team. I'm usually on top of the team with the Hawke. I'm also usually dead with the Hawke. So that's why I haven't thrown up any videos more recently. And main battery, as you can see, we fired 27 HE salvos with only 7 hit. So we didn't fire that many, whereas armor piercing is 147 we fired and 67 hit. And so HE was only 11k, whereas armor piercing was 261,000. Our torpedoes got a nice 32k on the 2 targets they hit, with a 50% hit rate. And our secondary battery also did a nice 10k damage for our total of 317k damage. You see the Azuma, we with only 8 shells deleted it. The Furutaka there with 3 armor piercing at the end to go from nearly full to 0. The Hatsuharu, 2 torpedoes, full to 0. And the Shokaku that we put several shells into for a lot of damage, and someone else got the kill. And I was running blue boosters for XP and grays or greens for the everything else. Let's see what the modifier says. 20%. I believe that was grays. Anyways, that is the Hawke in Raptor Rescue. If you have any questions, or you'd like a ships deployed, or you would not want me to talk about a ship or a certain route in an op, let me know. I'll do my best. Otherwise, like this video if you liked it. Click subscribe if you want to see more. Or don't if you don't want to see more. I can't make you because I'm not your mother. I do, however, hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.